Thank you for joining us, everyone. Tonight, we turn our focus to the future of leadership. Across the nation, young people are raising their voices, demanding representation and seeking a seat at the decision table. As policies shape their tomorrow, the question remains, why are youth still underrepresented in politics? I mean, the stats are there. Young people make up the majority of the population, yet remain a minority in political leadership. Tonight, we explore why youths must step forward, engage and take their place in politics. Joining me for this interesting, very important conversation is Honorable Segun Olulade, former member representing Ekpe constituency at the Lagos State House of Assembly. He was also former chairman, Committee on Health Services, chairman, House Committee on Information, Strategy, Security and Publicity in the 7th Assembly, and is popularly known as a Lenio. Honorable, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining me on the program. Good to have you, sir.
Yeah, good evening and nice having me, and thank you for having me also. I will say Happy New Year to everybody, to all our viewers, and also to you about the Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. You know, this is a crucial conversation, one that is very important to every young Nigerian out there. So thank you very much for joining me once again. You know, in 2023, and I'm sure you remember that young Nigerians showed higher engagement in both elections. You look at the presidential and governorship elections, which according to stakeholders formed a significant portion of new voters and those who were actively monitoring the process. You know, that was a great impact, and you know, personally I was particularly impressed with that. But even at that, many political parties claim they support youth inclusion, yet young people are often given only mobilization roles. Some people to stay in where votes are taking place. And today I ask myself, how many youths under 40 are actually in political party decision-making bodies? And for you, as a member of the APC, do you honestly think the party listens to young Nigerians or just uses them for votes?
Thank you very much. No doubt Nigerian youth have a place in politics to play. They have a lot of role to play, apart from just mobilization and all sorts. And like you rightly said, over 60% of Nigerian population today are Nigerian youths. And that we are talking about between 140 million to 160 million Nigerians who are youths, who are within the range of 1 to 35 years. So we understand that Nigerian youth have to play a major role. And in our party in APC, especially with this current government, you will see that a lot of young people are being appointed into different strategic positions within the government. And that is made possible because of the role the Nigerian youth are playing currently. And some of us who have played that role in the past, now we are becoming an adult and we are becoming a younger person, but not the youth that we can classify ourselves to be. But notwithstanding, Nigerian youth are now coming up. Mr. President will always tell us then that power is not served a la carte. You need to put yourself out there. You need to contest. A lot of our governors today, some of them started very young before they become governors, and some of them are senators today. When you look at their ages, when they started, and now you will discover that a lot of them started very young. We have, in those days of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewas of this world, the Yakubu Gowons of this world, they all started very, very young, leading the country, not just being a councillor or being a chairman. Those ones are good, but like you have rightly said, it is high time we start pushing them forward, learning. And you see, one of the reasons that is very, very important for us to do now is the fact that when you listen to some segment of Nigerian youth, they do not even understand how government is run. And that is why you see a lot of them, when they talk about governance today, the only person they will address, the only person they want to criticize is Mr. President. They do not even understand how government is being run.
Honorable,
that is why we...
Honorable, can you hold on, sir? Who or what do you blame for that level of ignorance or lack of awareness?
Well, we cannot put the blame on the leadership alone. It is our collective responsibility. We as young people, we need to teach. For me, for instance, I have a leadership foundation that the Lady Orchestra Leadership Foundation, that we are raising leaders, political leaders, and among the youth. That is my concern. And
Oh,
that is why I said it is our collective responsibility for all of us to come together and ensure that we continue to educate. And I want to thank the National Orientation Agency, currently headed by, what's his name again? I forgot. But the man is doing very, very well now. You will see that a lot of orientation is not taking place. People are getting to understand some of these little things. Not that you will sit down in the comfort of your home and you will see people tweeting or writing so many things on social media. And when you look at what they are even saying, and unfortunately, some of your media people, I'm sorry to say this, but some of the media platforms also are encouraging things like this. They are the one telling them what is not when they even want to talk. When you see somebody have said they are not journalists, but
okay,
people who are
so
given
let's
the
not go there,
platform to talk.
Honorable. I mean, our
Yeah, I
job is to
understand, but
remain the watchdogs. But of course, if you're talking about strategic positions, I'm sure it cannot
yeah.
just be about being special advisors alone. And when you say Nigerian youths are truly included, the next question I would like to ask you is why do the same older figures dominate party leadership? But as a former House of Assembly member, I mean, you've witnessed political structures up close. How would you assess the current state of youth inclusion in Nigerian politics? Are young people genuinely empowered or just tokenized? I mean, is youth inclusion in Nigeria largely tokenistic?
To do this before. When I was contesting, I came out to contest. Power is not served a la carte. Nobody's going to come to your house to come and tell you to come and contest or for you to be in the position of leadership. Some of these governors, they are within some of the governors that we even have now. They came out to contest. And if you look at the House of Representatives, we have a lot of young people in House of Representatives today. You'll be amazed. If you go to the Senate, yes, you see elderly people, but even there, you see some people who are even within the range of 50, 45, 40, even in that of the Senate. So we cannot just allow the narrative that the older politician is sitting tight. They are sitting tight because there have never been any constructive, competitive dialogue or engagement in the areas of electoral positions. But when it is only when you don't contest and you don't win and people are being elected, the older people that you are referring to today, they are not going to sit down and just wait until you are pushed out or they will go and resign from their position. We need our people, our young people, to also take up that the decision within themselves and decide, okay, I am going now to contest for this election. And I am in support of the youth getting engaged or being in political offices now more than ever. Because it is only when they learn how governance is being run, when they understand that we are good to say they are the future of this country. Yes, they are the future. But if they don't know how to manage their future, it's going to be a great disservice to the country and to their generation. So we must continue to include them. We must continue to give them opportunity, platforms. And that is why I'm saying that there are platforms. The political parties are vehicles that can be used to achieve offices, political offices. But when you don't contest, it becomes an issue. Nobody's going to come home and say, okay, I'm no more contesting. And that's why you see even our political parties, you will still see elderly people occupying such position. You can see that in our party today, you see a younger person who is also the chairman of our party. You see a younger person as the secretary of the party. who is under 60. So that is what we are talking about.
All right.
It's
so let's be realistic, Honorable, because
Yeah.
it's okay to just assume that Nigerian youths do not want to embrace leadership or do not want to join the system. Because I mean, to be factual with you, there's been advocacy for a new approach to youth development. It's been over a year now, and that's why we're also having this conversation in a new year. A new approach that would enable young Nigerians feel involved in government and be part of the government. From your experience, what is the missing link?
I've said it before, and I'm still repeating it, that Nigerian youth must understand, first of all, whatever position you want to go into, you must dialogue with the people. You must get yourself involved in the political structure of the parties. There is no independent candidate again in Nigeria. All we have are political parties. And you have said something that is very, very fundamental. You said in 2023, the engagement of Nigerian youth was so loud. That is it. If that same engagement is there, the Nigerian youth can also come together as one and try to put somebody within their localities to a position of authority, from the position of House of Reps, House of Assembly, Senate. Nigerian youth must be conscious about it. It's not something that you just believe that, somebody is going to resign his position or decide to just leave the state for you. No, this is not done anywhere all over the world. So Nigerian youth needs to understand that this is their time, and they must not just do that destructively. They must be strategic about it. They must plan. There is a saying that says, "He who fail to plan to fail." So you must understand the terrain you are going into. It is politics. It's quite different from every other games. You can be a musician and you say you want to exhibit your talent. You can be a footballer and say, okay, it's about my skill. But
I keep asking some of these questions because, I've spoken with even older Nigerians who strongly believe that Nigeria's political system is deliberately structured to keep young people out of power. And also, whenever I have these kinds of conversation, you see some Nigerians talking about talk about youth inclusion, participation in politics and governance. The age versus competence debates, usually spring up. And, I particularly hold this government accountable because of the promise President Segun Olulade made to young Nigerians. And still, the argument is that Nigeria's problem is not age, but competence. And, the question is, why should Nigerians prioritize youth leadership over experienced older politicians? And if experience is actually the key issue, why hasn't, decades of experience solved our corruption challenge, insecurity issue, or even unemployment?
Let me be frank with you today. The Nigerian youth are ready, and they are ready to take position of authority. But they are going about it in a very wrong way. When I wanted to contest, I started from the grassroots. I decided I want to serve my people. And I started working towards that. Now, like I said, in today, everybody needs the experience of the youth. In technologic sector today, it is the youth that is driving it. When you look at in fact, I must commend this current government. A lot of agencies of government and even ministers today, they are young people. They are youth. It is a thing of the past when you have a 50-year or 60 years old person being commissioner for youth in Nigeria. But things are changing. And Mr. President is fulfilling his own role. He contested as the president of Nigeria.
But still, the president has been criticized for not doing enough for Nigerian youths, especially in the area of employment, political appointment, and empowerment programs. And I would like to know from your own perspective, how has this administration engaged with youth issues? But I'll allow you to answer that question, Honorable, when we return from this break. This is Politics Tonight, everyone. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us, everyone. This is Politics Tonight, and tonight we turn our focus to the future of leadership, because across the nation, young people are raising their voices, demanding representation and seeking a seat at the decision-making table. And so tonight we're exploring why youths must step up, step forward, engage and take their place in politics. And I've been speaking with Honorable Segun Olulade, former member of Lagos State House of Assembly. Honorable, thank you very much for staying with us on the program. So let me allow you to answer the last question before we went on that break. Because the truth is, since assuming office, many or some Nigerians have continued to criticize the president for not doing enough for Nigerian youths. They're speaking from the angle of employment, political appointments, and empowerment programs as well. So from your perspective, from an insider's perspective, you're a member of the ruling party. How has this administration engaged with youth issues?
In fact, if there is any government that has been a listening government that have engaged the youth of Nigeria more than ever before, is this government. This government has put a lot of the young people, a lot of youth in different categories. We have the Minister of Youth doing a lot in terms of employment, in terms of engagement, in terms of, you see the government that is focused in bringing up young people. In so many agencies of government today, go and cross-check and fact-check what I'm telling you today, you will discover that 40–50% of them are young people. They are young people that have been appointed by this current government. So the idea of, like I said, he is elected as a president and he cannot do all these things. The governors are expected to also engage their young people in their respective states, the local government chairmen to engage people in their respective areas, and even the National Assembly are doing so, because we have a lot of young people who have now been elected. So coming with that narrative that this government have not been that engaging with the youth, I think that is not correct. And I think
so. The president had to.
We should look.
The president had to, separate the Youth Development Ministry from the Sports Ministry, both of which emerged under the same ministry for a very long time. Would you say the purpose for this separation has been achieved?
Definitely, definitely. And that is why you see in most of the things that is happening today, the Youth Development Ministry is carved out so that we can have a separate body dealing with the ministry, also dealing with the sports engagement of the Nigerian youth. Even when you go to sports, majority of the people in sports today, they are youth. When you are in entertainment industry, they are youth. When you come to tech, they are youth. When you go into agriculture is now attracting a lot of young people. Unlike before, a lot of young people are getting involved in agricultural produce in Nigeria. So it's not a sector also.
Are you impressed with the Ministry of Youth Development because you're a member of the ruling party?
I'm not impressed with the Ministry of Youth because I am a member of the party. I am impressed with what the Ministry of Youth of today is doing. I heard a program just last year. The Minister of Youth in Nigeria was at that program, and he came and he gave us routines of activities that is going on. You see, a lot of Nigerians, we don't really get to understand or follow up with some of these programs that these different ministries are doing. That is youth targets. And that is one area we also need to encourage our young people to please let us. We are always on the social media without really looking for the right things that we need to look into.
Could that be because some of these programs do not get to ordinary Nigerian youths who are on the streets? Because some of the allegations that were raised last year is that some of these youth programs are distributed along political or partisan lines.
It's Netford. Is it along party line? My sister, let us be clear with what is going on. Netford is not about Nigerians It's not about any political party. Every Nigerian youth are coming in now. They are applying. And it's so in most of the programs that is at the different ministry, even in the Ministry of Youth. So you need to be on the internet to know some of these programs. If you Google it and you say, okay, what are the major programs of this government it will come up. You see a lot of them there that they can get involved in it.
Okay.
Rather than just sitting down, criticizing and going on social media, telling lies, propagating lies and doing all sort of things. So Nigerian youth must also be conscious about how they go about it. Like I said earlier, leadership is not you trying to just, for the sake of knowing you, just continue to criticize. You yourself should sit down and look at the programs that this government is doing or this ministry is doing. You will see a lot coming up, and that will help you, that will help your businesses, that will open your eyes on areas that you too can benefit from the government. A lot of things that is going on within the government that people don't get to know about it, not because it's not there, it's there, but because those who are to inform them are not getting that information to pass across to them. And that is what has changed with this current government.
Okay. All right. So tonight you've also said, Nigerian youths are ready, but again, power is not given a la carte. And I referred to the separation, the president separating the Ministry of Youth Development from the Ministry of Sport Development, because, the truth is that tweak or that separation also enabled the government to pay deserving attention to the development of youth, the huge youth population in Nigeria. But again, Honorable, how can, a young person realistically compete with the issue of godfatherism? Because you keep saying, they must show that they are ready to govern, they must show that they are ready to participate. How can a young Nigerian deal with some of these factors? You look at vote buying, exorbitant nomination fees. Was it not last year, 50 million naira for a nomination fee? How realistic is it, for a young person with limited resources, someone who is just coming up, to aspire to political office?
My sister, let me also tell you that I understand what you are trying to point out, but sincerely speaking, it is that determination, that readiness that needs to be shown by individuals who want to contest for an election that will determine that source. When I was contesting, the young people in my constituency came together to buy the form for me.
Okay.
Because they believe in my leadership. They said they want to go and buy the form. It's not that I will not buy the form as I did, but because that is the person they wanted. And that is how
but you had a mentor.
They can also do. Yes.
You had a mentor.
Yes, you must have a mentor in anything you want to do. Even if you want to be a musician, if you want to be a footballer, if you want to be a politician, you must have somebody that you look up to as your mentor. When I was growing up as a child, I was fortunate to meet the then governor of Lagos State, before late Lateef Kayode. He became my mentor. When I wanted to go into politics, I saw Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then a senator, and I said that was why I went into legislative arm of government, because I do not even know what was going on in legislative arm of government before I contested. But I saw him, and I said, if this man himself, Shuba Okadepo, those were the voices in the I think that was the second what they call it now, when during the days of 1990 to 1993 dispensation, during the what's his name now? I think Pius Hayim was Hayu was the Senate president then. But you see Shuba Okadigbo and the likes of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the way they debate on the floor and even engage the public interests me a lot to say, okay, when I want to start my political journey, I said I want to be a legislator. That is how mentorship is being built.
Is
And
it
you, as a young
mentorship?
person,
Honorable,
you,
please pardon me.
yeah,
Is it
yeah,
mentorship or godfatherism? Now, let me make it clear, because some call it
okay.
godfatherism, some are very bold. They call it godfatherism, and some call it mentorship, which has recently been going wrong. You look at Yeson Wike and Governor Fubara, endless tussle. You also look at Governor Abba Yusuf and his godfather, Rabi Musa Kwakonso, silent rivalry there. You also look at Governor Ubasani and his godfather, El Rufai. Sorry, I had to go there. But if the system is fair, why do many youths or young politicians still align with the same old political structures?
You just have to, it's just if you want to even do tailoring or fashion designing and you want to be successful in it, any business you are doing in this world, if you must be successful in that thing or occupation or whatever, you must have somebody that you are looking up to. Even if you want to be a pastor, even if you want to be a chief imam, you must have somebody as your mentor. You might call it godfatherism. If you call it godfatherism, no problem. Even in churches, you say, this is my godfather in church. As a young person, you say you see somebody as your godfather. That is not a bad thing. We are just tagging it as if having a godfather is a bad thing. It's not. It is only who want to make it bad that will make it bad. So as a politician, if you want to grow politically, you must have somebody that you love, that you have seen his trajectory, you have known his antecedent, you see how he does his things, and you believe in such an individual. That is what will inspire you to say, okay, let me go into this trade or this occupation or this service to humanity. That is what I don't classify it as a godfather. And even if you call it a godfather for godfatherism, it is allowed. But my sister, it is important that we don't continue to tag these people not because they are old. Yes, they are old. They have the experience. They know a lot that you don't know. So you need to learn. You need to go under them and learn politics. You don't just come in a day and say, yes, you want to be the overall ruler. And that is why you are still having problem in some states, because there is no proper mentorship. People just coming into politics, some of them just have money and they come in and they just want to be this. They don't, if you ask them who is their leader, it becomes an issue. They don't have leaders that they can say that this is my person that is tutoring me for years.
So because you've raised that issue, Honorable, I mean, you were a mentee of the president when he was a senator. Perhaps you're still a mentee. That's why they call him Shiwaju. Would you say today, young Nigerians who are genuinely interested in politics, have the right mentorship?
A lot of people that can mentor them are out there, sincerely speaking. We just, you see, we have bad heads in every profession, in any society. There are people who are good and there are people who are going to be bad. That people will just sit down and assume and generalize issue and believe that everybody is bad. Then you have to check yourself that you too are also a bad person. So for me, I believe that there are so many people that can mentor you. I am still getting my mentorship from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to date. Why? Because even when he was coming, by the time he was coming to become governor, I was the youth and student coordinator mobilizing the youth across the state for him. Why? Because I believe in him with what I have seen during these days as a senator. And that is the same thing that I expect that everybody who want to go into any trade, not only politics, young people want to go into any sector within the system, must understand that you must have somebody that you must see as your mentor, somebody who will tutor you, somebody who will hold you, at times, these people, you might not even know them. You might not have met with them, but you saw the way they have been working and you want to be like them. Well, as a young boy, I look at Lateef Kayode Jakonde and said, I want to be like this man. That is the vision. That is somebody who wants to be in that field. I cannot just wake up one day and say, because I have some change in my pocket and just come in, my idea will be different. That's one of the major problems we're having in the political system today.
So talking
That a
about
lot of people that are
ideas,
in it.
I really want to
Yes.
take you up on the 2027 elections, but quickly, you've just talked about ideas and the need for the right mentorship. If you look back at your political career, what lessons can young Nigerians watching you tonight learn about navigating a system dominated by older elites and political godfathers?
Thank you very much. Like I said earlier, my father is not a known person. He's late now. And my parents, let me just say my parents, they are not known nationwide. But here I am today, being a member of Lagos State. And even when I was contesting, it was the youth. My bulk of support was the youth within that constituency that came out and said, yeah, this man has been contributing to the development of our community, and we believe in him. And that is the way to go about it. You must first of all find your community. You must be known in your community. You must have done something. You must have had value to your community. It's not that everybody that I'm seeing today that are coming out to contest, when you ask them what have they done, they have nothing to show for it. Then I have I'm a professor of this, I'm a doctor of this, I own 3 companies. Those ones are not criteria for you to be a great leader. So for you to be a great leader, yes, you must have your own second address. As a young man who want to come into politics, you must have something that you are doing. And at the same time, you must also concentrate on what are you going in there to do? What value are you adding? If you don't have such views, you don't have any opportunity of coming to say you have been shortchanged. And that is the problem I'm trying to point out. A lot of Nigerian youth today don't even know the roles of each of the political offices that is there. Before you come into anything, you must learn about it. You must understand the terrain that you are going into. You cannot just say you want to be a footballer today and you want to start playing in the league of Premier League. Immediately you become a footballer. No, you must have been trained. Somebody must have discovered you. Somebody must have tutored you. You must have mentored to coach you for you to even play. Even those who are professional, they are still being coached. And that is why I always advocate for Nigerian youth to have people who they are looking up to as their mentor, not deceivers, not people who are just have there to ensure that they occupy office and their own is just about office, 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 office. No. Politics, we have, like I told you now, we have about 160 million Nigerian youth who can be anything in this country, but not all the 160 million. Do we have 160 million position? No. That means that there must be competition. That means somebody must come out with values. And that is what we are talking about. Nigerian youth must see to it that no, you don't just allow everybody, whatever thing they are saying today, this one, and you just follow them as zombie. No, ask
All right.
questions. Be equipped.
All right, then. Let's talk about 2027. I'm sure as a member of the ruling party, you're happy with the recent defections. More governors moving into your party, and I'm sure the party is still eyeing the remaining governors in other party. The number is growing. The strength is increasing. Just to put it in a better way, the party is growing in strength, but is it good for local candidates? And like I say every time, governors alone don't make the party. They're just an added value. The people make up your party. So do you see these moves as genuine support for the party's vision, or some, like someone says, opportunistic power grabs ahead of 2027?
2027 is going to be a great year for us. In our party, we are strategic and we know what we're doing. And that's why you see that the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is being embraced from every nooks and crannies of this country. We have seen people, just yesterday, we saw the Southeast people. No matter what happened in 2027, the Southeast vote cannot be like the way it were in the last election. Because one of the things that were used last election, so I like when I see people talking about is a foregone issue because Nigerians have already seen a man that have changed the narrative of governance in this country. They have seen a man that is patriotic enough to take courageous decisions that will put us on track today. Just if today you travel out of the country, you can use your bank ATM all over the world now. It wasn't so before he became president. Today, if you don't have money to go to, it was in the past that people would just call, I don't have money to go to pay as my school fees. I say, go and apply. Netford is here for everybody. Today, we don't queue again. We just did December, January, festive period. We are not queuing on filling stations for days for us to buy fuel any longer. Today, Nigerian governors are paying salaries. About 27, 28 of them were not able to pay salaries in some few years back. But today, they are paying their salaries. Everybody's taking a full payment. States are being empowered. And that is why I said, why local government are being empowered? Why are the Nigerian youth just concentrating on, if you want to serve, it's not just you serving at the helm of the presidency. Go and start from your council. Start as a councillor, start as a chairman, even you mentioned Wike today. Wike started as the chairman of a local government. He became a chief of staff. He became minister. He became governor. He is now also a minister today. But you don't just sit down and say, I just want to be this, that go. So that is what we are talking about. I believe that the current situation that we are seeing today, where everybody is coming to a party that have provided infrastructure, roads, we're talking about a legacy project across all over. We are seeing electricity coming back. There was a period that before you can see 30 minutes electricity, wherever you are living, it's going to be tough. You see, I passed my labor generator flying all over the country. But today, things are changing gradually.
Right.
In our
I see you really now to
US,
the achievement of this administration. But ADC says 2027 elections will be between APC and Nigerians. This is, directly implying that Nigerians would vote out the APC. I mean, for instance, Mr. Peter Obi had, one time said these ongoing defections by state governors in the Southeast would not guarantee the political capture of the state. Also today, we saw the Southeast APC endorsing the president for a second term, despite, performing poorly in the 2023 elections. But overall, what is your assessment of, the role of the ADC in the current political landscape?
No, those ones, now, Abba, all of them in that party today who have not ruled us before in this country. And which of them can you look up to and say, this is my mentor? Obi that is being packaged before, that it was just, there are two things that worked for Obi in the last general election. And those things are not going to work again. It is ethnicity and religion. He was going to all the Christian churches all across the country. He was promoting the Hebrew agenda, which some people bought into. But today, the Southeast people are saying, look, we have to be at the center. Smart politicians. There is no smart politician in this country that will not want to go where they know things are happening, which is the APC. When you look at what Obi is doing today, he said he has moved from Labour Party.
You must have forgotten, Mr. Honorable, you must have forgotten that Mr. Peter Obi is a son of the soil. And,
he has the right to contest election, and which nobody is denying that right. But what we are saying now is that he moved from the Labour Party. The Labour Party, the platform that showcased who Obi is. Now he moved to ADC. To those people, he has caused different names. And at the end of the day, his deputy, his vice presidential candidate, Baba Ahmed, said, I am not going to leave the party. I'm going to build this party. I cannot go and sit down with those people that we said they are the one that run this country. And that is just the narrative.
Isn't that what Nigerian politicians do every day? I mean...
No. That's one thing I want you to take note of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only thing that matters in politics is interest.
That's unfortunate. Yes, it's interest, but it's unfortunate. I'm a principal man. I'm this and that. Today, he's now sitting down with everybody he has alleged to be a criminal.
All right.
Today, he's now sitting down with them to say, I want the ticket. All he's looking for is ticket. Ticket to do what?
All right.
What was his role when he was governor in Anambra? What is his achievement there? So when you come to the ADC, is it Atiku? What can Atiku offer Nigerians again that he has not offered us in the past? We know what happened with the power sector in Nigeria. We know what happened with the privatization when he was the vice president. Even his president says so many things about him that he has not been denied, that he has not challenged at any given time. So how do you expect me to go and vote for such an individual?
All right, then. This is 2026. I mean, election year is just about a year from now. We'll see how all of this plays out. Quickly before I let you go, as a former member of the House of Assembly, your people say you're dedicated, they say you're highly committed, you're a highly committed politician. What's next for you in politics? The vacation is taking too long. Don't you agree?
Well, for me, I'm committed to a project, and that project is for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to come back for second time, come 2027. That's my project now. I don't want to be distracted. I'm committed to this project. It is a project that I know that the future of this country and Nigerians, youth that are coming and generation yet unborn will be proud of in future, because of so many things the man is doing, not for himself, but for the patriotic Nigerians and for every young people that are coming up. All
right. Thank you very much. I should let you go now. Honorable Segun Olulade, former member of Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you so much for speaking with us tonight, and Happy New Year once again. Thank you.
Happy New Year. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. So just as Professor Jiga says, if youths remain disengaged, those undermining democracy will continue to thrive. In his words, young people must organize, obtain their PVCs, and join political parties. I mean, he went on to describe disengagement as self-sabotaging, and I think I agree with him, and that's why I'm also here to remind you that INEC has resumed the nationwide continuous voters registration exercise, marking the commencement of the second phase of the process. That exercise resumed last Monday after the first phase ended in December. Register, get your PVCs, and be a part of the system. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Remember, you can watch this again at 12:30 a.m. I'll see you again tomorrow. Good night, everyone.